John Klingberg. Speculation today that he'd be available.
I saw that. My first reaction to that when I saw the Oilers, I was like, huh. That's like one of those head scratchers where you go, can he do it if he's healthy? But you have Bush, and you have all you can handle with Bush, I think, offensively. And I love Johnny. I play with Johnny, but there are times in a game that when he was fully healthy, you were like, oh God, no, I didn't need that play at the blue line. And that's, he can make some incredible, he was one of the best walking the blue line. And before the guys like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes is probably one of the best in the NHL at walking the blue and making people miss. I just don't, he's another one people might kind of be like, oh my God, yes. But you got Bush. I don't think you need anyone in that offensive role. There's too much offense on this team. The type you need is a Ristolainen, but I just don't like him personally as a player. But you need that kind of, but you need a Ristolainen that can move the puck. Like you just need somebody that's kind of big, gets the puck up the ice, doesn't hurt you, because you have all the offense you need up front. And then on the back end, you got Bush and Ekholm that are going to command so much of the offensive ice. You don't need anything other than guys that can, that are doing what they're doing right now. If you listen, the back end, I've said they need a guy on the right side, but these guys continually seem to play well. The Ember Sims, one of his best games last night. Stetcher's done a great job. And then Josh Brown, which, crazy enough, comes in. And even though he's playing 7 minutes, that's the kind of role he's used to, does it well. And, you look at Brett Kulak, who I think is such an, unheralded player that just every year has filled such a perfect role for this team. And he's one of those guys you never have to worry about game in and game out. And that's what you need. And you just need to cut like another guy like that on the back end, I think would be perfect. It's just a guy that ho-hum, you don't need to worry about a thing. He's going to do what he needs to do night in and night out. And we can worry about, the ups and downs of our favorite son, Evan Bouchard. I love him.
I see the difference for me between like a Klingberg and a Risto ad would be Klingberg is going to be a 1-year prove it deal, probably league minimum at this point for the remainder of the season. And it's like, if you just want someone to maybe play off Troy Stetcher or to be an insurance piece for you going forward, it feels like a free bet a little bit on Klingberg. And hey, people, when the Panthers signed OEL to that contract, were like, why is Florida want Oliver Ekman-Larsson? He's washed. He was terrible in Vancouver. And he went and wasn't just like serviceable. He was maybe their best defenseman in the Cup final. And I'm not saying Klingberg has that upside, but if you can have like a mini version of that, maybe it does pay off.
I mean, Ekman-Larsson's way more physical than
fair.
Klingberg, and he's bigger too. Like, and I played with OEL. Like, he's got a little bit of a mean streak. Klinger doesn't have any of that. Klinger's your prototypical. He's a puck mover. He's going to give some offense. He'll probably get a boatload of points if he was healthy and played with this team, because he'd jump up. But come playoff time, when you're going into the corners and in the grind, you got to think of what you're going through this year. Edmonton, you're probably going to get a Florida in the finals. That's probably the team that makes it back. Other than Florida, you got Carolina that probably makes it. The only team I'd say, which I took this year in the East, is Jersey. But if you look through the West, you're going to have to go through LA. It's a grindy team. Probably going to have to get through Vegas at some point. That's big, physical, grindy team. You can't have a bunch of skill guys. It's just the way it works. I think on the back end, they've done well. I just think they need to add a little bit more meat and some puck moving. So it's two guys that, like, if you could put them together and make some weird redheaded stepchild of a baby of Rasmus Ristolainen and John Klingberg, you would be good. But we can't, unfortunately. Technology hasn't gotten there yet.
Hopefully one day.
Maybe
one day.
Would you sign John Klingberg for the rest of the year?
No.
Straight up, no, you're out.
No, I think I'm out. I'm out. I think the question with John Klingberg is he better than Troy Stetcher?
And I think he might be.
But by how much? Like, I feel like, and JD brought up a good point then, and his competitiveness, like when you come through the playoffs, Troy Stetcher is going to, he might not be the best, but he's going to bring it every night with his competitiveness. And I really appreciate that about Stetcher's game. And he's not going to mope when he's on the set as the seventh guy, and we don't know what Klingberg is. And I think Klingberg's a good player, and maybe if the others needed someone more like that, I'd be all in. I think he'll be a good ad for someone, but I don't know. I just don't see him as like a great fit.
The idea of playing a puck mover with Darnell Nurse, we always know has been kind of like the goal in the ideal scenario. The league min deal and the way it would like prorate against the cap would be very tempting, because then is he not just a very cheap number 7 for you?
Yeah. Do you think he would be league min though?
I can't imagine there's a huge bidding war, but yeah, I don't know.
I think the ball's in his court.
I think it probably is to some extent. Maybe there's not. I could see him ending up in Ottawa, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think that's a team who'll take a stab on him. I know
5 to 7 teams in the mix.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe it will be too much. So yeah, I would say I don't hate it, and I wouldn't be against it, but I don't know if it's something I'm going to sit here and like pound my fist on the table and be like, get this guy now.
Yeah.
Someone said the Leafs own his rights. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
That's not how that works.
His last contract was $4.15 million.
Yeah.
I just don't see him as a guy who's going to come in and be like, give me $900K. Like, I feel like
unless he wants to win.
I honestly, I don't know if he does. I mean, yeah, sure, obviously.
Yeah, maybe he will go somewhere where the depth chart's more clear.
Yeah, but I think he's only 32. He's still got a few years left.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.